Hi everyone, let's do this question. This is a question which I have formed based on a question given in the GMAT Advanced Official Guide questions. Alright, so let's read this question together and try to attempt it. 3/8 of the votes in the recent presidential election of country A have been counted. There are only two contenders, Mr. X and Mr. Y. And every vote is exactly in favor of one of them. 1/3 of the counted votes are in favor of Mr. X. What fraction of the remaining votes must be in favor of Mr. Y so that the total count will be such that the ratio of votes received by Mr. X to the votes received by Mr. Y equals 5:3. Alright, now pause the video, give it a try, and then let's do it together. Alright, we are back. I hope you have given it a try. Now let's try to solve it together. Now you can solve this question either by taking variables, or you can do it by assuming the total number of votes. Alright, now it's faster if you can try to solve it by assuming the total votes such that, and again when you assume the value, do try to assume it such that the ratios over here will be easy to convert into absolute numbers. Alright, so again over here let's try to use that method so that we get familiar with that method. Now over here you can notice some of the ratios are over here. We have 3 out of 8 of the votes, right? So again, if I take the total number of votes as 800, that makes it easy, right? So that would mean that 300 are counted and then the remaining 500 are not counted. All right. And let's also see over here. You can see that this question is formed in a way that if you take 800, it becomes easy. Over here also the ratio is 5:3. And again, if you have 800, this becomes easy. All right. Now let's go ahead and continue. It's also mentioned over here that 1/3 of the counted votes, which is 300, are in favor of Mr. X. So if the counted votes are 300, 1/3 of 300 is 100. So 100 votes are in favor of Mr. X, and the remaining, which is 200 votes, are in favor of Mr. Y. Now 300 are counted. So out of 800, the remaining votes are 500, and some of them will be in favor of Mr. X and some will be in favor of Mr. Y. Now the question is, how many must be in favor of Mr. Y so that the total count of the votes received by Mr. X to the votes received by Mr. Y, that is X by Y, should be equal to 5:3. And again remember, X plus Y will be equal to 800, which is the total, because it's mentioned that every vote is either in favor of Mr. X or in favor of Mr. Y. Alright, so this 800 has to be split into the ratio of 5:3, right? Again, that's easy because it's 800. This should be, the sum of these two should be 800, and then you have 5 and 3, right? Again, if you want variables, you can take this as 5a and this as 3a. Now you can see the sum of these should be equal to 8a, which is 800. So a is equal to 100, and then you get this as 500 and 300, right? Now again, from observation also, you can do this without using variables. Over here we have 5/3. So because the sum has to be 800, this over here has to be equal to 500 by 300. Now we already know that X got 100 votes and the total for X should be 500. So out of the remaining 500 over here, the value which goes to X should be equal to 400. And if this is 400 and the total of these two is 500, this over here will be equal to 100. Now the question is, what fraction of the remaining votes must be in favor of Mr. Y? The remaining votes is 500, and out of these 100 should be in favor of Y. So that's what we found over here. So the correct answer will be 100 divided by 500, which is nothing but 1 divided by 5, which is answer option C. Now do remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel. All the very best in your preparation.